Come off mute after pushing. Thank you, Naomi. So again, I'm doing the ricotta, and the first thing is to add full cream milk. Now I am using this long life milk because I do find that with long life milk, it does yield more ricotta in the end than if you're actually using fresh milk. So I'm going to pour that in. I'm going to try not to make a mess because I tend to, in classes, I don't want to jinx it, but I do tend to mess with spill and all that. So it is 1,800 grams of milk. So just under 2 of these cartons. I'm going to try pouring that in. And so who's made ricotta before? Anybody else make ricotta, cheese, or anything? Before, it's the easiest thing in the world. It does take a while, like I said before, to cook. But once you have it, it is amazing. And there's no extra, like, besides obviously what these are, because they're long life. There aren't any other preservatives and additives in there because it's all it is just vinegar and milk. So that's going to cook for 15 minutes. I thought it was 10, but it's 15 minutes. You've made a similar soft cheese. Oh, Claire's made soft cheese before. Claire, which cheese did you make? There is a recipe on here to make halloumi too, but with halloumi it uses like a probiotic tablet. You've made Maltese cheese. I've not seen that before. That's amazing. Is it on Cookidoo or is it your own private recipe or personal recipe, shall I say? Oh, Kirsty's made it's your own recipe. Oh, you got to share it with us, Claire. Okay, so that's going to cook for 15 minutes. We're going to go to Oxy. Now, Oxy, you were initially supposed to do the rice flour now, but would you prefer to actually do start the butter first, or what would you like to do?
Is it okay if I do the rice flour first?
Yes, perfect. You do what you like to do.
I actually have 2 devices. So if you can scroll the gallery, I have another view from my other phone, just in case which is view better, because I moved to my new house and I'm a little bit out of sequence. So here we are, and I'm making rice flour. I'm going to my recently cooked with a rice flour. What I love, I use it for my zucchini slice. Today I'm going to use only brown rice flour. I use basmati, and it's really easy. The recipe asks for 250, but I have enough in my pantry, so this is just for example. You need to make sure that the bowl is empty. Here we are, and I'm going to put right straight in basmati brown rice, and it's going to take just a minute of some serious milling. So Ilham, it probably will block because it will be very loud.
So if you guys have been to a demonstration before, it's pretty much the same thing as when you make the fruity dream or the sorbet, where you're actually just milling your raw sugar into icing sugar. So it's the same concept. So it's you can't see on a screen, but I think it's on speed 10 for about a minute, she said. And so you can keep her spotlighted because Naomi, you can keep her spotlighted because once it's done, then she'll show you the end result. It's just that Zoom obviously mutes her sound because it's loud, and then she can't speak during this time. So I'm just talking over it. So because she's asked me to do that. And so once that's done, you'll see it's perfectly milled. And I actually use this when I make shortbread. You know, the shortbread biscuits, I actually use this when I make rice flour, but I actually use any rice. I use basmati rice or any, you know, the long grain white rice. I use that too. And I make for when I make shortbread cookies.
Так, let's have a look. Perfect. Look at that. It's milled so fine. It's incredible. And it's so healthy. So instead of just white normal rice flour, you can use a brown rice. I just wanted to show you my own tip that I use. I'm a great fan of a black rice, which is packed with nutritional values, with lots of micro elements because it's not as refined. And here is the rice flour from a black rice. So I put this in my zucchini slice, and my zucchini slice I cook in muffin shape. So my children can take it, and they don't even know that there is a black rice. Like they would never have it in sombreros where you could see it. And it's another way of having a good, healthy nutrition. So that's for my first part, Ilham.
Thank you, Oxy. Do you want to, Naomi, if we can spotlight Angela now, because she's going to be doing the cooked mayo.
Awesome. All right, guys. So I am doing the cooked mayonnaise on Cookidoo. There's a few different recipes. I've only actually ever cooked this cooked mayonnaise. It works for me, so it's great. Okay, so I've already pre-weighed in my oils. The first step is just to pop a jug onto the mixing bowl and weigh in your oil. I actually use, it says to use grapeseed oil, but I just find a mild olive oil works really well, and that's just from Aldi. So it's not, I should know the price, it's not overly expensive, and I didn't use a lot of it, 300 grams, but I just find I prefer to use olive oil, and I just find that doesn't have a really strong taste. That's what we want. Okay, then we're just going to pop in some salt. It says a teaspoon. I'm going to go a little bit less. I don't really need to, and that's a thing we love about our Thermomixes, right? Because you don't need to follow the recipe to a T. So if you want to cut back down on salt or sugar, you can. And then just some vinegar. So I've just got some white vinegar. It's just 30 grams of vinegar. Scales jumped around there. Sorry, concentration, because we don't want any more of that. You can make a couple of variations with this as well. You can also make like an aioli, which I did do the other week, and that's got the garlic. So in this step, you could crush some garlic in here as well. And then we're just going to cook that off, the speed one. And that's it. The next step I'm just going to preview along is just to get some eggs. So I've had these at room temperature. I think a trick to making mayonnaise is to have your eggs at room temperature. So we're just going to pop them in a little bowl and set that aside while that's cooking. These bowls are great. These are from the Mixshop, these little bamboo bowls. They come in like, I think, a set of 6. They're perfect for my classes. I love bringing them to my classes, but they're great for like a little dessert size. So there's 2 eggs in there, little dessert size like ice cream cups or custards, yogurts. They're really great, and they're bamboo, so the kids are safe with them. They're not going to break. And that's it. We're going to pop that aside. Pardon me. I'll quickly show you my garlic one that I've made. Just put it in the fridge. That's the garlic aioli that I've made. So again, you can make that to your liking. I think I put 2 cloves of garlic in this one. And these are great. These little squeezy bottles are great from Mixshop as well, which I'm going to pop my other mayo in there later on. You can smell the garlic. Has anyone made mayonnaise here before? Let us know in the chat if you've made mayo or if you've got a preference in flavors. I know that you can do like a mustard. You can add mustard to it. You can even like mix it up and put maybe like some pickles and stuff. But yeah, I love them. I think these bottles, I just saw Naomi pop them in the chat. These, there's a mix sale sale on at the moment. There's the frenzy sale. I don't know why it's not closing today. What's going on? They do close. I don't know what's happening. But they come in a set of 2. I think this is the larger size. This is the 450, I think they are. But you can get them smaller. I think they start at like $8 for a set of 2 or something, or $10. So you can get them in 3 different sizes. So this is the larger one. But yeah, they're really great. All right, so then that's going to go for another minute. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you, garlic aioli. Do you use this recipe, Kirsty? With a sale of $7.16. There you go. I did write this costing down. I think the largest set is $9 on sale at the moment too for the large set. So jump on that. I think that finishes on Friday, guys. That frenzy sale. It's pretty good. yeah, so we love our mayonnaise. This one actually lasts in the fridge for 2 weeks, and we go through it really quickly. So you can use it in your coleslaws. We're having brisket burgers tomorrow night, so we're going to pop them in the brisket burgers, but we love it through like any kind of steak sandwiches or yeah, coleslaws, salads, just as a side with your fish, your grilled fish. It's, unless we know that what's going in it, it's healthy, there's no preservatives, it's only going to last for 2 weeks. It's so easy to make and so cheap to make. It's just 2 eggs, vinegar, some oil and a bit of salt. So it's not a long process to make, and it's not expensive to make either. So give it a go if you haven't. Let me know if you're willing to give it a go. What we're going to do is we're going to watch it emulsify in a second. All right, so that's just cooked off. We've already done the set of the eggs. So now it just tells you here, so we're going to select the speed to speed 3 and then continue with the next step, which is adding in the eggs. And you just want to do that through the mixing bowl lid. And then we're just going to keep that in. Oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. No, you can't like that. All right. So that's just mixing through, and then we're going to give that a zhuzh. All right, so keeping the measuring cup in, we're going to turn it to speed 6 now. And then meanwhile, we're going to slowly drizzle in the mayo. So good tip is to actually have a little measuring cup with a spout, because the first time I made this, I had kind of stuff gone everywhere. So over to speed 6, and we're going to very slowly pour the oil in. So let that thicken and emulsify. So I hope you can hear me. You've got a minute to do this, 1.5 minutes. And you can just do it through the mixing bowl lid. That just seeps through into the bowl. And you can hear that it's starting to really emulsify. Hopefully you can hear it. It's going to help the rest of that go through. Is there anything in the chat? Sorry, I hope you hear all that. Oh yes, potato salad, of course. Shredded chicken. Yes, I'm going to actually do that. Well, not chicken, I'm going to do something else. It's near the end of its life. Oh yes, perfect, 100%. Yes, shredded chicken. Thanks for reminding. I'm not going to do chicken, but I'm actually going to do tuna for the kids' lunches tomorrow. I'm going to pop some tuna because it's such a waste to have that bowl. I know you can get as much out as you can, but you want to use as much. You don't want to waste anything, and you want to use all of it. So that, hopefully you can see, look how glossy and thick that mayo is. It's perfect. So yeah, I can't speak tonight, sorry. It's after hours. I'm going to pop that in to my squeezy bottle. I'm also going to use from the Mixshop the jam funnel. If you guys haven't got these are amazing. It's a little bit of a wide neck, but it's great for like jars. So if you're not going to store it in the squeezy bottle and you want to put it in a sterilized glass jar, that fits in perfectly. I'll just quickly show you. I know we've got a lot to get through tonight. This does kind of sit on top of the hole, but it's just going to catch anything that I may not get in there. And like I said, I'm going to get as much in as I can into my squeezy bowl, and then I'm going to pop in some tuna. If I had shredded chicken, like Kirsty said, I would do that and pop it on reverse and just get all the bits that stuck to the side that I haven't gotten out. Instead of wasting it, I'm going to, yeah, like I said, you can do it with tuna or you can do it with chicken and salad, whatever you want to do, just to use it all up. So that's what I'm going to be doing with that. And that's pretty much it, guys. Any questions? Just show you how we pop that in. It's a bit hard to do backwards, sorry. But it's so, can you see that? I'm making a mess because I'm doing backwards here. I'll just show you. Again, that's the one that I did before. So I've got my garlic aioli. I just use, I usually have a little whiteboard marker on there to label it. And then we've got a one that we made tonight. Cool. Any questions? Awesome. Thanks for watching, guys.
Angela, just a quick one.
Yeah.
So would you, I mean, I would poach the chicken in the varoma, and then when you would you just shred the chicken with the mayo, leftover mayo, because that's what I usually do, use the mayo, leftover mayo that you've still got in your bowl, you just shred it and then automatically it's all mixed through too, yeah?
And then you put it in, I think it's reversed. So I'm going to get some tuna and do the same thing. So wherever I don't get it, and that can just go in a little container, and then that can be for lunches tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, just steam your chicken on top of the varoma. You can shred it first if you've got some, or if you've got leftover from the night before, just chuck it all in and then just whiz it all up.
Perfect. What is Claire saying? Oh, she does it with egg too. Yeah, you can do it with egg to make egg and some curry. She adds curry powder, then it's a curry egg.
I've those for years. Oh my god, I might do that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Angela, and thank you for sharing, Claire. With what you do with your leftover mayo. I just Naomi, if you can spotlight me, because it's perfect timing. Thank you, Angela, because I'm literally on 2 seconds, or 1 second at least. Because now I've got to add the 80 grams of vinegar to that to the boiled milk. So I'm just going to pour that in and weigh it as we go. So I do tend to buy bigger bottles of vinegar, and then I just tend to refill this bottle because it's easier to use this bottle. And there we go. So that's the 80 grams, and then we're going to put that lid on. Go next, and then it's going to cook for another 7 minutes. This time it's going to cook at 90 degrees and on speed 1. And so now we're off to Kirsty, who's going to show us the taco mix. Thank you.
Hi, thanks, Ilham. If you want a little tip about your vinegar, if you've got 2 big bottles, once one has got that much left in the bottom of it, fill it up with water. The wispy stuff in there will remake the vinegar for you. So then when you use the other one, by the time you're down on that one, use the other one. Saves a lot of money, saves buying vinegar. All right, so taco seasoning, I'm going to start with that one first. This is a really quick one. We use this a lot. We hit start cooking. So obviously 10 to 20 grams of chili powder. I'm just using the Kashmiri chili powder. It's a little bit more mild than the other one. Just because that way we can add a little bit extra, and that way, you know, if it's too much, the kids won't eat it. So, okay, so I'm just going to go 20 grams. Beautiful. So I think I've done before 5 or 6 times this recipe. So if you do use it a lot, you can do that. 1 1/4 tablespoons of garlic powder. That's just gone right up my nose. I'm going to start sneezing in a second. If I do, I'm sorry. All right. 1 1/4. And then we've got onion powder. I use a lot of herbs. Right, so the onion powder, you can obviously mill this down, but it does go solid. So just thereabouts, a little bit more. Not too bad. Dried oregano. We've got 1 1/4 tablespoons again. So obviously you could probably use this in a small bowl first and then just throw it all in at once. 1 1/4. 2 tablespoons of paprika. So got 1, 2, and 2 tablespoons of cumin seeds. Obviously, if you don't have cumin seeds, you can use good old plain cumin, just ground cumin. You're going to ground it up anyway. So, but I find this way it gives it a bit more flavour because you're going to grind it up. And 1 tablespoon of sea salt. Go. And 1 tablespoon of dried chili flakes, optional. So when it says optional, this is to your taste. So I'm not going to put a tablespoon. I'm going to put a little bit in there. That's not much. So this way it won't kill the children. And then 1 tablespoon of black peppercorns. I do put them in. Like I said, I use a lot of herbs, so big containers. All right. Let's measuring cup in. So that's 1 minute on speed 10. So yeah, you'll hear me in a minute. Won't be long.
So I've been reading the chat, and a lot of people are saying they omit the chili. Well, Claire's saying she adds extra chili. Some people say they omit the chili. I just add less chili than, just like Kirsty, I add less chili than what the recipe recommends. Otherwise, my kids won't eat it. But yeah, add it, like she said, to your liking, to your preference. Do whatever you like. Oh, Naomi says she's created. Oh, she's created her own recipe, like taken. So do you guys know how to do that? To actually take the Cookidoo recipe and actually share it in created recipes, and then to change it up, the Cookidoo recipe to suit your preference. If you don't, speak to your consultant, because they can definitely teach you how to do that. Perfect timing, Kirsty.
Yes. All right. I love this too. Oh my God, it's chilly. I've got to agree with Ange. I use this for absolutely everything. Any sort of jar. Do jams, perfect for your jams as well. Curd, all that sort of stuff. And that makes a lot. As you can see, there's a fair bit in there. And just straight into your jar. Don't put the lid on yet. Obviously, we've just milled that, all the friction, it's warm. You'd be able to feel it. It's got a little bit of warmth in there. So don't put the lid on. Let it cool down, just like you stop. You leave the lid off for a bit. Here we go. So it makes a generous amount. That'll last a while. Now, oh my God, sorry. The chili. I find that this doesn't make it, when you're doing tacos, like the kids like it to be red. I still add a tin of tomatoes and some corn. I add tomato paste to give it a little bit extra color as well, because I find this doesn't have the red color that we used to have with the old taco mixes. Oh my God. I'm going to get a drink of water. Back over to you. Sorry. Oh.
You're right. So the other thing I wanted to mention with milling spices, when you buy ground spice from Coles or Woolies or wherever you're buying it from, they do add a stabilizer in the ground spices, and that's why that's why their spices don't usually clump up and stick together like when you mill fresh in the Thermomix. So just bear that in mind. So like as I said, keep your lid off for a while for that, just for it to cool down before you actually put the lid back on again. Because obviously with the spices being a little bit warm, because it's been milling, there's heat in it and it sweats, and so yeah, you don't want it to go clumpy or wet and that sort of thing. But we are off to Oxy right now. Oxy, you ready for us? Would you can you start making the batter?
Yes, I'm very ready. Here I am. Tak, I'll mute myself. I apologize. This is my first time being a host in the Zoom, and there's more icons than usual. So here is a pure cream butter. No, sorry, after 6, no English, right? So pure cream. I must say I do not use a thickened version just because they use different thickening agents, and I'm pro health, and I just don't need it, and I use this. Also, do notice the expiry date is 29th of May. Usually I buy this on a special when the expiry date is almost to be expired. That's a really good time to use this cream to make a really good butter. All you need is 600 grams. The recipe is on Thermomix, on Cookidoo, and I'm just going to start. And first, what you need, you need your butterfly. By the way, since there is a sale on the Mixshop, do buy yourself a second butterfly, just in case if one gets chewed up. It's a really good time for sale. So I'm going to place the butterfly, just in case if people don't know, you just place it gently right in the middle. And I'm just going to pour my 600 grams of pure cream. I'm just going to show it. I really love cream, to be honest. And I love butter. So what we're going to do next, remember with a butterfly, no more speeds and no higher speeds than 4. So it's going to take us not exactly 1 minute. It depends on the cream. So right now, as you can hear, it's quite liquidy. And as you go, the sound will change. It will be more creamier and creamier. First, it will come up to whipped cream consistency. And I'm going to bring my laptop maybe closer, so hopefully you can see. And maybe bring my torch. So this been 40 minutes. I have a whipped cream in there. Can you see? So I'm going to stop just to show you that I've got the whipped cream, because it's also a good, it's almost actually turned to butter, literally in seconds. So I'm just going to continue this process. The timing says 9 more seconds, but I'm going to increase to probably 15. As you do the butter and you can watch it, your heart will tell you how the butter looks. So it's almost happening. You can see the sound has changed. So be guided by the sound. You can have a look on the inside. Maybe 5 more minutes, 5 more seconds. Yep, I'm happy with that. I'm going to show you again, because it's all about consistency when you make butter. And you can see the liquid is already separating. I hope you can see that clearly. Here we go. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. But to be safe, I'm going to do another 10 seconds. While I'm doing another 10 seconds, do ask your questions. This is where your girls in the chat will answer. And this is where you save a lot of money on flavored butter, making like garlic butter. Okay. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Now it's really perfect. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? I wish I could teleport it for you to try. This is really good. I'm really happy with that. So with the next step, I'm going to remove my butterfly. Pop it on a clean plate. And then I'm going to read out what the Cookidoo says. I'm going to bring out my fancy stand, and I'm going to, using this simmering basket, basically strain it. So I'm just, hopefully I'm not blocking the, here we are. The liquid will just separate. And that's your buttermilk. Almost there. Usually if it wasn't the class, usually I would take my sweet time. By the time all the butter, the liquid will slowly separate. So I'm going to put some butter in here to make sure all the butter is out. Look at the beautiful butter. Isn't that amazing? It's so yellow, it feels home. It smells fresh. It's so good. So I'm going to show you my buttermilk. The buttermilk, the thickness of it is just incredible, how good it is for your baking. So next step, I've done this step. I'm going to add chilled water in the bowl. The recipe asks for 500. I have prepped my water, and to make it cooler, I did put some ice in it in advance. because it helps you much better with shaping the butter. So I'm going to place my half a liter. As you probably know, looking at the back of the bowl, there is increments of number 1 and 2. So without looking at the scales, you can see that it's 1 liter. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to give my butter a wash. The reason I'm doing it, so the butter, I forgot the word, doesn't expire very quickly, doesn't go off very quickly. So I'm going to place my butter in. Here we are, just in a cold water. But here I am, just a second. I don't want to, this is my 3rd time making butter. So when I do something for the 3rd time or 1st time, I do read instructions really carefully. So I'm going to wash it for 5 seconds. So it's been 5 seconds. And now it says liquids and solids should separate again. Let's have a look at that. And that's it. What I'm going to do now is the same process. I'm going to strain my butter. So here I'm just going to pop my, because I moved recently, I don't have all the utensils and accessories in my usual kitchen. So I'm just modifying. So I'm going to pour all of this liquid with my butter on the top floating into the simmering basket.
Don't you want to save the buttermilk, Roxy?
Yeah, I am. But Claire said you can, how do you say? You can use the whole lot if you want to.
Ah, okay.
Was it Claire or someone else?
Yes, I do. I presented it's Naomi here. I presented a segment at our team meeting, and I did it on butter. And if I want to stretch, if I've got a couple of particular recipes, I stretch the buttermilk and use both the washes, and it works quite well.
Right. Okay. So I to be honest, I didn't use this is, as I said, 3rd time. The 3rd time I used my whey or we. What's a better emphasis? It's not a whey or we, it's from yogurt. My buttermilk I use for baking. So what I'm doing now, I actually really push it down to make sure there are no liquids. I can do it with my hands, and I can shape it into any shape I want into the bowl. Usually I let it, what I do, I just go in with my hands and give it a good squeeze and turn it into a ball or any other shape. So I also freeze my butter. The good thing, one of my colleagues last week gave me 2 liters of cream, and I love kimchi butter. So I added some kimchi butter, and look, it's so easy to do, very easy to do. If you buy cream on the discount, on the sale, it's very cheap, and you've got your own butter. I hope I help you, because sometimes it sounds so fancy and impressive when say, oh, make my own butter. But with Thermomix, you can do anything, really. Would you agree with me, girls?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's my butter. I'm going to according to Cookidoo, there is a little video that you can roll the butter into the sausage shape and things like that. Once I'm off the screen, I'm going to roll it in the little sizes that I need, pop it in a container, and here's my face. Another good thing in the Mixshop is butter bell that keeps your butter warm. You can spread it. I haven't got it yet, but I'm going to buy it on this sale. Yeah,
I've got an Oxy,
Mhm.
the butter bell. Yeah, and you sit it in a little bit of water, and it keeps it fresh for longer as well. It's really good.
Yeah, and the other thing, while I'm here, may I just share my little things that I like from the current sale? I love spatulas. I'm just a spatula girl. Now look, this is your Christmas colors. You've already got a present and got ready for Christmas. My other time saver is a scrubby, the ball scourer. I really like it. It's only $6 right now. And it's another Christmas present for someone. It can be used for stainless steel, for your Teflon, for anything without scratching. Just another house tip, do not put stainless steel wool in your bowl. The reason for that is it may scratch and you'll have more grooves, and when it's browning, it'll brown too much. So it's better to use like something like Euro scrubbing, so gentle scrubbing. And of course, these ones, I'm going to use them for garam masala, you will see later on. But look, it jingles already. June, July sales help me to prepare for my Christmas list. I'll let you continue, Ilham.
Sorry to interrupt. These are the butterbells. I've got the butterbells that you're talking about. If anyone was curious, little butterbells. They come in charcoal or the white. Very handy. I need to
Thank
use
you.
them more.
Thank you for sharing, Ange.
No worries.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you, Naomi, if you can spotlight me. So this is the nut milk bag, and that's what I'm going to need now to separate the solids from the liquids. So you get this in the Mixshop too, and Naomi will share a link to that in the chat. So just like Oxy, using a simmering basket, I'm going to put the nut milk bag in the simmering basket. That, and then I'm going to just hold it over this. But this is our Thermomix servers, and you get them when you host demos. So you get them on discount or free, depending on whether you have a Thermomix purchase at your demo. And so I don't want to actually. I'm going to pour it in, and I'm going to try and hold onto the simmering basket at the same time without burning myself. And I'll show you guys. So that's the solid and the liquid separating. And so then what I was meant to actually mention was that while Oxy was doing her batter, after the 7 minutes of cook time with the vinegar, then for 2 minutes, you're meant to allow the mixture to sit after the cooking time. And then this is now what we have to do after the 2 minutes of cooking. So I still have some ricotta in the bottom of my bowl, which I can use a spatula to pour that, but I've only got 2 hands. So that's going to sit for about half an hour. And then once that's done, you just take it out of your bag. And I'll just show you, I did make I pre-made a batch this morning to show you. So that's the whey, and that's the ricotta. So I had this sitting in the nut milk bag longer than half an hour. So because I like a more like a thicker consistency, shall I say, rather than a softer consistency or harder consistency. And that's what it looks like. I yielded about 400 grams from the long life milk. And we don't, with ricotta, you don't need the bag to get that the liquid out. Otherwise, the cheese is going to become really hard, and you want it firm if you like a firm consistency, but you don't want it like hard. And I did write a few notes because I tend to forget sometimes during classes. But so for a softer ricotta, you just reduce the draining time. So generally, this draining should take about 30 minutes. So if you want it softer than that, then just go 25, even 15 if you like. But for a firmer ricotta like this, a thicker consistency, then you do it about, so for a thicker consistency, and then you allow it to drain for a lot longer. And then You can use ricotta obviously in sweets, cakes, savory or sweet tarts, or you can just spread it on your bread, your sourdough, your toast, whatever you like. So the ricotta does store in the fridge for up to 1 week. The whey is packed with flavor. So I tend to either put in the fridge if I know I'm going to be cooking something with it during the week, or you actually put them in ice cube trays and leave it in the freezer for however long until I am ready to use it. So the whey, you can, it's full of proteins and enzymes and vitamins and minerals. So because this is an acid whey, like you get a sweet whey, like if you're making halloumi cheese, you're using a probiotic, that's like a sweet whey, but because we use vinegar to make this ricotta, it's called an acid whey or an acidic whey. So you can use it in things like, not in sweets, not in like waffles or pancakes and that sort of thing. I wouldn't, because it will change the flavor of it. I mean, you can if you like, if you're okay with the flavor, but my kids knows the flavor, so they won't eat it. So I use it in like bread or risottos instead of the water in the risotto. What else? Like if you're making flat bread, like tortillas and things like that, you can definitely use that. You can even use it to soak your grains. If you're going to be making like, I don't know, a bean stew or whatever, and you want to soak your grains overnight. Yes, it's great in smoothies. But again, my kids don't like the flavor of the acidic whey, but if it's a sweet whey, then definitely yes. You can cook your pasta in that, you can cook your potatoes in it, you can cook your instead of water, use the whey in soups and stews. I mentioned risotto before, sauerkraut chutney. And what else? Oh, some people use it as a hair product like shampoos. Yeah, so shampoo substitute. Some people use it as a hair rinse or even a gel because it's really good, and it's good for pets too. So especially if you pour it on their dry food, they tend to like it. It becomes like a cereal consistency, so they tend to like that too, and it's good for their health. You can water plants with it. What else? If you've got chickens, you can feed it to your chickens too. You can pour it in your compost bin. And you can even use it as a marinade because it helps, because of the enzymes in the whey, it helps break down the meat easier. So that's good for marinades too. What else did I think I've covered it all. Oh, and you can use it as brine. So if you're making any pickles, you can definitely add the brine in there. Or if you want to make cheese again. And so you know how if you've ever made feta or anything like that, you can use this as a brine for your feta or that sort of thing. And I think that covers everything that you can use your whey for. But I've now got probably 800 grams because of my batch this morning and this batch now of ricotta. So I'm probably going to make my mother-in-law's Lebanese, and she taught me a knafi recipe. So she uses ricotta and like a sweet mozzarella cheese. So I'm going to be doing that with my ricotta. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got, who's the next person? So that's what I'm sharing tonight. And so, we've got Anna. Sorry, Anna, I was talking too much, but it's off to you now. Thank you.
All good. Hello. Am I unmuted? Yeah. Okay. So I know we did introductions earlier, but I'm Anna Kelly for those who missed it and weren't on at that point. So I'm making nut butter. My thing is quite far away, but doesn't really get that much closer. So I've got here ABC nut butter. It's got almonds, Brazil nuts and cashews, and that's actually the only thing that goes into this recipe. So you can make all different types of nut butters, but this is my favorite one. I would say it's probably one of the most nutritious nut butters. Peanut butter is probably the least nutritious. You can just make plain almond butter, plain cashew butter, macadamia butter, all these different things. And the Thermomix will just step us through the recipe because obviously all nuts have different fat contents and different softness. So you can't do the same thing for each one. So I am placing, this is actually from the USA Cookidoo. So it's telling me to add 5 ounces of almonds, but the Thermomix just jumps across and converts that for me. So almonds go in, Then the same amount, 5 ounces of Brazil nuts. And then 5 ounces of raw cashews. And for those of you wanting a conversion, it's about 150 grams of each. But essentially it's just equal parts of all three. So if you wanted to double the recipe, you could absolutely do that. Depending on how much you double it, you may need to adjust the processing time, make it slightly longer. So we're inserting the measuring cup and I'm blending this. It's going to be very loud on speed 9 for 30 seconds. I have a partially broken Thermomix. This little thing doesn't work properly. So I need to actually get it sent in. If it's saying it's not working, that's why. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Anna.
Okay. So if I'm making just almond meal or a nut meal, it's only about 7 seconds. So to make a butter, it doesn't take very long. So you kind of get this butter consistency after about 30 seconds to a minute. But if you want it really smooth, that's when we're going to have the extra 3 minutes later. So you can see here, it's definitely past that milling stage, but it's still quite crumbly. So it's telling me to scrape down the sides of the bowl. And then I'm going to do that for another 20 seconds. So if you've ever made peanut butter, some recipes just use plain peanuts. Some recipes ask you to add a little bit of peanut oil into it as well. And I find if you do add oil, it helps to make it a little bit smoother as well. Okay. So it looks very similar to what we saw before. Ah, I really need to get this Thermomix fixed. Hold on, I'm going to have to use my other Thermomix.
This is the benefit of being a consultant. You get a second Thermomix.
Honestly, this is my old Thermomix. I've had this one for about 4 years, and it's just this little error. It's not letting me. It doesn't detect the lid, and I can't use the cutter in that Thermomix either. Yeah. Anyway, so it's getting to the point where I've just been putting off sending it in, putting it off sending it in. But yeah, the fact that I'm now doing a cooking class and it's not working, it's going in. All right, so no. I don't know if you guys are interested in the process of if you need to send in your Thermomix. It's pretty simple. Just contact your consultant and we can organise a service order for you. And from memory, it's $149 flat rate fee, and they pretty much fix anything within that. And they send it off and it comes back within 1 to 2 weeks. So it's a really easy process. And if obviously if you've only had your Thermomix for 2 years, that's all under warranty. Okay, here we go. Back to the nut butter. I'm going to start from this last step. Right. Okay. So that's going on speed 5.5 to 3 minutes. So it's a lower speed, but it's going to be doing that for quite a long time. And by the end of it, we're going to end up with a really smooth nut butter. So the benefit of nut butter is really high in protein and good fats. Can you guys hear me? Yep. So I can't even hear myself. And I tend to have it with things like apple. I know that if you've ever been concerned about like blood sugars or eating to balance your blood sugar, things like apples are quite a high sugar content. So I find putting some nut butter on that. If you've ever followed Glucose Goddess, you'll see like you end up with a much leveler blood sugar spike. Yeah, so I think nut butter is amazing to have with fruit. That's how I like to have it. Other things, there's a whole bunch of smoothie recipes where you can add nut butter as well. The benefit of the Thermomix is you don't even need to have the nut butter. You can just throw nuts in your smoothies because it will blend everything into a puree. So was there anyone else, Ilham, while my nut butters, it's got a minute and a half, I'm just aware of timing.
Yeah, we've got Kirsty and then Oxy. So did you want us to wait for you to finish, or did you want to go, shall we go over to Kirsty?
Oh yeah, no, we can go to Kirsty. We can come back to mine.
Awesome, thank you. Just like let Kirsty know once she is done. Thanks.
Yeah, just interrupt me when you're ready. All right, I'm just going to post my recipe now. So this one's from Recipe Community. It's a Road to Loving My Thermomixer one. It's a beautiful recipe and I've been using it for many, many years. And I love that these are on Recipe Community, so I can just upload it to my Thermomix now. So I've already got it on here. Just hit start cooking. And I don't know if everybody's added their own recipes on there. I find it's easier on a PC or a laptop, iPad, because it's got all your ingredients in there. But once you've done it right, it lists them all on the screen as well. So then all you've got to do is just throw them all in. And I'm going to double this recipe because we use it a lot. And it oh no, I won't today. It's just, because normally I add about 1 kilo of flour to it and it just fills up the whole jug and I don't have to make it again for a while because we do use it a lot. All right, so 2 tablespoons of salt. I love this recipe. It's just so easy. 1.5 tablespoons of black pepper. Now I am going to cut it back because one, I did not wash my bowl. So you can see it's still got taco mince. I make a lot of my spices and I might do 5 or 6 in one day. You know, I've got things like my korma spice blends, my chili con carne spice mix as well. So I've got all those. It's just so much easier to do them all at once. All right, dried onion flakes. And that's 1.5 tablespoons. So you do have to, you've got to go, sometimes these stuff, you've got to go to a spice shop. Yeah, I buy mine bulk, like at 1 kilo at a time. Dried garlic granules, I've already out of those. So I'm just using the powder again. So it was 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon of dried rosemary. Again, I don't buy rosemary. I grow it. My neighbor grows it as well. And I just dry it out, mill it up. A lot of these you don't have to go and buy. Much, much easier and cheaper to do it yourself. Basil, 1/2 tablespoon. Now I did cheat. I had it all laid out in water. A little bit OCD. All right, 1/2 tablespoon of paprika. Half a tablespoon of dried oregano. So I find that you can dry a lot of your own herbs much cheaper rather than just let them sit in the garden, you know, dying slowly. 1/2 tablespoon of mustard. These are just mustard seeds. You can see those little mustard seeds. And then we've got thyme. Yes. Now we're getting down to the smaller ones. This is 1 teaspoon of thyme. Just plain thyme. You could use lemon thyme if you needed to. And then we've got tarragon as well. And I've got tarragon going crazy in the garden at the moment. So again, dry it out if it's going crazy. Don't just keep throwing it out or letting it sit there for the birds to eat it. There we go. So that's my tarragon. All right. And then all we've got to do next is basically, it's 1 minute on speed 10. All right, 30 seconds on speed 10. Give it a scrape down. If it looks consistent enough, add your flour and go to the next one. I'm going to hit next. Oh, no. All right, so I'm going to go 30 seconds, speed 10, back in a minute.
All right, I'm just going to finish up over here. So I actually don't have one of those fancy jam things. So I don't know, for those of you that don't, I just use my lid as a funnel, and you can see the nut butter here. I'm just going to end up pouring it in here. It's really thick and really smooth. It's made heaps. Okay. Just put that in there.
That looks amazing.
It is amazing. So yeah, like I spilled some, there we go. It's hard to really show consistency on a, there you go. Now, I don't know if you've thought about the saving in cost of these, but if you bought ABC nut butter at the shops, it's going to cost you a lot of money. So it is expensive to buy nuts, but it's much more expensive to buy nuts that are processed. So the fact that you've cut out the processing, yeah, much more affordable.
Beautiful. All right, so I've done my 30 seconds, my first 30 seconds. So that's what it looks like. It smells a lot like KFC without all the oil. So again, scrape down the sides. You don't have to go a second time. I'm not going to. I'm just going to throw my flour in. So with the flour, where are we? With the scales on and the flour. Well, I just put in, it says 350. I do 500 because it's just, it is quite, it's a strong flavour. The kids will eat it if it's not as strong. And like I said, you can easily double it in here up to 1 kilo. It does fill it right up with 1 kilo. I just like pushing the boundaries, see what my Thermomix can really do. And I do. All right, pop the lid back on. And again, whew, all right. That's another 30 seconds on speed 10. Back in a sec.
I don't know if you guys ever look at the tips on your recipes, but the tips and tricks, it says for the ABC nut butter, it said it can be stored in the fridge airtight jar for 1 month. It also says pre-soaking the nuts will enhance their digestibility. Prior to making this recipe, place the nuts in a bowl, covering with warm water and 1 tablespoon of salt, and soak for 7 to 24 hours. So if you wanted to do soaking, activating the nuts first, that will make it even more nutritious. Definitely every recipe, look at the tips and tricks because there's always useful stuff in there.
Thank you for bringing that up, Anna, because the butter also has amazing tips and tricks where you can actually make the butter more like a spreadable consistency. You just add extra oil, and salted butter, you obviously add salt, or garlic butter, you add garlic. So yeah, those, always look at your tips in your recipes. Sorry, Kirsty.
All right, so that's done. So that's made a lot, and I'm guessing probably somewhere between 2 and 3 kilos of chicken you can do with that amount. Like I said, it's much nicer than KFC because you can just shallow fry it. I've put in the oven just with the spray bottle, give it a quick spray with a little bit of oil so that way it still gets nice and golden. Can you smell that? Go on, have a smell. Yeah, it does get down your throat. But yeah, so it's the best. It's the best. So I normally do 1 coat with the chicken, and then you do your egg and milk wash, and then you do another coat straight in a pan. Beautiful. I think everybody was sharing their favorite Mixshop item. Oh, apart from the second jug, everybody's got to have one of those. And they're on Host Reward at the moment. And my other favorite one, it's really cheap, but this thing is incredible. I don't know what it's called. I threw out my box long time ago. But I do lots of, again, Rachel loving my Thermomix. This is a chopped caramel tarts. They're on Recipe Community. But
Or the
they're
pastry
really good.
shaper.
Is that what it is?
Pastry shaper.
I don't know. I think it was just to, make sure the kids are behaving. But yeah, it makes the most perfect little tarts. You just basically put your little bit of oh yeah, look, I'm talking Chinese tonight. You put your stuff in there, shove this in, give it a little bit of a twist. I do spray this with coconut flour so it doesn't stick. Give it a bit of a twist and it perfectly shapes it. So I don't know if you can see that. Do I need to bite it to show you? Do I? Chopped caramel tarts. Oh. Sorry. But that's my all-time favorite, apart from the jug. That's my all-time favorite. And I think they're not even $10. They're unreal. Get yourself one of those.
And as consultants, we get them at a cheaper price, as well as we just had the opportunity to earn, or like all our sales, we actually, we earn points for our sales. And so we got like vouchers to the Mixshop, so we could actually get all of these things for free too. So think about becoming a consultant, speak to your consultant so you can get your hands on all of these for free or at a reduced price. The last but not least, we've got Oxy. Kirsty wants to show us something.
This was the other thing that I really like. I know it's not on the Mixshop yet. If you've not seen one, yeah, they're incredible. Potato bake,
and you can earn
seconds.
it. You can earn it as a consultant too right now. That's the only way to get your hands on it right now, until it goes on to the Mixshop. So we've got Oxy that's about to
I'm ready.
garam masala. Thank you.
Now I'm presenting you a garam masala, and I just wanted to say there are 4 recipes on a Cookidoo, and I've picked one recipe that I like, but I'm going to add my couple of things that I like. For instance, I really like the flavor of bay leaf, the hint of fennel seeds. All those 4 recipes, there is no standard recipe from garam masala. They all differ with all the different hints and notes. It's like that French perfume, So I picked this recipe. You can see it's in a little jar. And the reason I like it, firstly, because all the spices get toasted. So I have toasted or roasted my spices. What does it do? It brings out more flavors. So currently the room is here, smells so beautiful, almost like you're in India. We just need to do a downward dog and we'll be there. It smells sensational. So I just wanted to show you what have I got. And here it is. I'll come nice and close, which is actually a mistake. Here we are. So the Thermomix, the motor is so incredibly powerful. It goes up to 10,000 RPM, reluctance motor. And look, it's going to mill all of these into a fine powder. So here I have, as you can see, bay leaves, peppercorns, cloves. I wanted to highlight black cardamom. This is one of my favorite. You can find it in Indian grocery shop. I do have green. Usually the green ones are used for dessert, but again, my favorite is a black cardamom because it brings so much warmth to any dish. Now, garam masala brings any dish from bland to Michelin. You see coriander seeds, cumin, and a little bit of ginger. I do like that, a little bit of hotness. So I'm going to go and start milling it takes basically a minute. And what I wanted to just add before I mill, which you can imagine how it's going to look, that the store if you buy the garam masala in the supermarket, usually because of the shelf life, it won't be as vibrant, as vivid. The colors won't be as warm, and maybe the taste could be compromised. So that's why I'm like Kirsty. I'm buying all my spices in bulk, and when you make them, the world just feels better. So I'm just going to go and grind my garam masala so you can see how amazing our Thermomix is. So you probably won't hear me. I'm skipping all these steps because I've already put in everything in, and I have roasted my spices.
Oxy, you're a bit muffled, but I think she's trying to show us the butter, the end result of her butter. So she must have squeezed all the extra liquid out, and she then formed it into a little ball, a butter ball like that. Look how amazing that is. So that will be can be stored in the fridge for up to 2 weeks, or it can last in the freezer for up to 3 months. And that's just plain unsalted butter, but like I mentioned before, you can add salt to make it salted butter, or you can add garlic to make it garlic butter, or herbs, garlic and herbs. You can also, to make it more spreadable, you can actually add about 50 grams of oil to it, and then it's easier to spread. Okay, she's ready to go.
Yeah, I'm ready. Look at this. The smell is just so magnificent, guys. My Indian next door restaurant will be probably jealous how good my house smells right now. So it's not as fine. I like mine really fine. I'm going to extend it. I did cut my timing a little bit short. And I just wanted to highlight again, making your own spices from scratch. Also, if you use the skinny mixer as well with this garam masala, you can use without black peppercorns. As for health benefits, garam masala is amazing. It's good for your digestion. It's good for diabetes, and has lots of anti-inflammatory capacity, right? So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know we're a little bit behind the time, and we're here to bring you lots of knowledge and lots of tips so you can use your Thermomix to its full capacity. Like my Thermomix never stops working. It just keeps bringing and bringing and bringing. You have all good night and sweet dreams about butter, garam masala, nut butter, and all the other things that you please do try making this week or next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you.
So I've just got one more thing to say. I know we've run over time just a little bit. If you've ever, even for a minute, considered being a consultant or joining the business at least, now would be the time. We've got an amazing offer available currently. It is, I just want to share my screen. It is called the Earn 4. If you don't have a white Thermomix, or you want a second one, then you can actually earn by join the business and earn one by just selling 4 Thermomixes. So you pay a deposit, and once you sell your 4, you actually your deposit gets refunded. We also have, or if you already have your tools of the trade, if you already have your Thermomix, but you want to earn a black one, and we're going to ask Anna or maybe Naomi or one of the other ladies who's actually seen the black Thermomix firsthand to share what they think of it. It's a Thermomix, or Forwork, sorry, it was the manufacturer of Thermomix that has turned 140 years old. And so they brought out an anniversary Thermomix, which is the shiny black Thermomix. So if you already have a white one, but you actually want to earn the black one, because that's the only way you can get it right now to earn it as a consultant. All you need is 5 points, which either 5 sales or recruiting or anything like that. But anyway, if you can join a business information session to find out more about like what the points entail. But Yeah, we'd love to grow our team. We'd love you guys to join us. And do you want to share, or Naomi, we've seen the shiny black one. You can see it's textured. So it's a lot different to the black one that we launched last year. So yeah, I'll just go on mute and Anna will share, or somebody else will share.
I don't have my black. I sold it.
No, I'm talking the new black. The new black one. Have you been to see what? Have you been to?
I have. Yes, it's like a yeah, it's textured. So, but yeah, so the old black had this kind of really shiny texture, whereas this, it yeah, because it's textured, it has like different, yeah, I can't describe it, but you can kind of tell from the picture. It's awesome.
Yep, so you just have to earn, you can earn your black in 5 points. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, please, you can stay behind to ask questions after, or just speak to your consultant and they'll be able to give you more information. But yeah, it was lovely having you guys tonight. Thank you for joining us, and please join us next month, because we do these classes run monthly. And we're happy to share our knowledge with you guys. And again, as a consultant, you get to learn all of this as part of our professional development. So thank you. Take care. Have a good night.